Hello, everyone. It's your girl Tay here from Let's Talk Wild, bringing you another Discovery Naked and Afraid episode review and recap. This is season 18, episode 11. Three is not enough. Okay, I know on a thumbnail we got full folk, okay, four survivalists, but we're gonna get into all of that and how things shake up from three to four. But before we do, make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, comment, turn on your post notifications so you guys can be notified when I go live. You can support by sending a donation to PayPal or Venmo. Let's Talk Wild. Everything will be linked in the description box. Okay. So let's get into the episode recap and review. So, yeah, season 18, episode 11, 3 is not enough. Okay, so let's get into what type of challenge this is and the location. You know, guys, I leave timestamps for you guys just in case you gotta leave, come back. Y'all know the drill, okay? You already know. Okay, so this is a 21-day challenge in the jungle of Belize, where they can encounter mosquitoes, venomous snakes, jaguars. Yes, humid weather and rainstorms. You already know how, the jungles give it up. Now, Omar. So Omar is the black man. Uh, John is over there on the the far over there on the right, and Malu is next to John. Okay, we're gonna get into Miss Redhead. Okay, that's over here next to Omar in a second. Okay, so we got Omar, John, and Malu up first. Okay. So Omar is a plumber. He looked like a plumber. When he said, I'm a plumber, I was like, yeah, he definitely gives plumber, honey. He is a plumber from Utah who did a fan challenge in 2023. And he and his partner did not get along. So he's looking forward to having a better partner. His PSR, he's starting off with a 6.5 out of 10, and he brought a machete. John is a banker from Alabama. He finished his fan challenge in Mexico. But for this challenge, his woman said no cuddling with girls, honey. His wife, he said, absolutely not. You ain't cuddling with no girls, okay? Besides me, I don't care if y'all out there freezing, okay? It's not going down. She ain't say all that. She said no cuddling, but the Let's Talk Wild way of breaking it down, that's my way, okay? um, John is starting off with a PSR of 7.4 out of 10, and he brought a mosquito net. We got Malu, also known as Duct Tape Girl. She is from Texas, who completed her fan challenge with duct tape as her item of choice to bring. She's starting off with a PSR of 6.6, and she bought duct tape, of course. They was given a fire starter and a pot. Now, John. John and Omar met up first, and they thought they didn't have a fire starter. But Malu met up with them and she was like, I got the fire starters. Honey, could you imagine them trying to start that fire without the fire starter? Absolutely not. No. So day one, they all meet up and get acquainted and head out walking through the river. And it starts to rain. Mother Nature welcomes the new challengers. Okay. She said, let me show y'all something. Let me give y'all a little sprinkle. Okay. So, yes, your Mother Nature gave them a little rain. Okay. 4.5 hours into the journey, their feet have been through it with the thorns and the rocks, and they hid into the jungle. And Malu is like, this is a little far from the water source. And Omar is like, it's fine, whatever. I thought she was gonna you know, go back and forth with him, about that, but she didn't. They finally found a spot to set up camp and they built their shelter. The roof was nice, but they didn't have a platform bed. They just set some leaves on the ground underneath the roof, and that was it. That was it. And Malu didn't like it. Like, she was telling him, like, I don't like it. I don't like it. But she said she wasn't gonna, push it because she didn't want to be too bossy, right? She was like, is we got enough days ahead of us for me to get on their nerves. Like, not right now. But they get a fire started with the help of the duct tape that is flammable. Yeah. Night one, the mosquito net is helping, but Omar is suffering from, the mosquito bites from earlier that day. When they were out there, they was getting bit up. Day two, Omar stood up and said his back went out. My neck and my back. Uh, his back went out and he literally like cracked it on camera, and he said he was like, feeling sore. They head down to the river, and Omar leads the charge in making a fish trap by blocking off part of the river. So he was like, we're not making no fish basket trap. We're not doing that, thank goodness, because I'm tired of these unsuccessful fish basket traps. I'm tired. Okay, this season the fish basket is not the MVP. Okay, the mosquito net is the MVP for items. Okay, period. um, but they make a fish trap by blocking off part of the river. They head back, and Omar said his back is hurting. He's grunting in pain. Malu is trying to be helpful and give words of encouragement, but John is worried. Okay. Night two, the rain comes, and they are still lying on the ground. It's wet, and the shelter isn't keeping the water out. Day three, John is tired. Omar has no feeling in his left foot. And Malu talks to them about her dad being on life support before coming on the show. So she decides to tap out and leave because, she needs to be there with her dad, with her family. She tells them to cherish the duct tape. I love that she told them that before she left. So, there was three, honey, but then there was two. Okay. Omar is still in pain, and John is being, supportive. They go down to the river and they find a turtle. They cook and eat it. Day five, Omar is suffering from his back pain and the mosquito bites. He's just dealing with the pain and trying to push through, but he's crying and he's emotional about, having not helping John, basically. John having to do everything. He was not feeling good about John having to do everything for him, right? But John wants to be a supportive partner, so he tries to find food, and he finds some cahoon nuts. And as he's gathering them, the mosquitoes are biting him up. The mosquitoes was brutal this episode, y'all, like for real. He takes the nuts back to camp, and they crack and roast and eat them. And it was a lot of work cracking them open, but they said they tasted good. They said it tastes like popcorn. I guess when you hungry, it'll taste like anything. Night night six, there is a storm and the temperature has dropped, and Omar is cold and not sure if he'll make it, honey. That is all he been saying this whole time. I don't know if I'm make it. I don't know, but he been pushing through. But John was like, being the supportive partner that he is, comes over to him to cuddle him to help keep both of them warm. And John said his girlfriend said no cuddling with girls. And Omar said, well, she got her wish because, I'm a man. So I love John and Omar's like jokes and banter. It was really nice. Day seven, the rain is still coming down and the mosquitoes are still biting. Omar says his entire body is itching. He continues to say he doesn't know if he'll be able to, keep going on. And John is still being supportive. And then part of the roof falls down and they have to repair it. They are chopping wood in the rain, but they fix it. Day eight, the rain has stopped and the river has riven. The rain has stopped and the river has risen, not riven. I play too much. It has risen. Omar takes a dip in the water. John tries to reinforce the shelter, and the mosquitoes are still biting. Now, let's get into Miss Redhead head over here. A new survivalist comes to try to complete 14 days as a fan. Danni is a crocodilian biologist from Indiana. I know that's right, girl. Period. She is starting with a PSR of 6.2 out of 10, and she brought some fishing hooks in line. Y'all, I was really excited to see Danni. Like, girl, you a crocodilian biologist, girl. What's tea? What's good, Danni? What's up? So I was rooting for Danni. Like, I was so excited seeing her. She came in there with that red hair, honey. Period. And she got right to work. She meets the bros and they get acquainted, and she, says she wasn't expecting to meet people that have already been out there for days, but it is what it is. And like I said, Danny gets right to work and starts chopping down some leaves for the shelter. The guys feel bad because they are tired. They're just sitting under the shelter. And Omar and John like joke about how she ate a sandwich before coming first date energy. John John and Danny were not Danny. John and Omar was so funny. They were just so funny. Their jokes were hilarious. Like, this episode made me cry, but they also made me laugh. And this probably was the most I laughed with the episode this season. So I really appreciated this. Their little, even through the pain, Omar was just still laughing, trying to laugh, and John just being so supportive. But yeah, I just had to throw that in before we get to my wild thoughts and all that at the end. So now we have two separate days for them, because they're doing a 21-day challenge and Danny is doing a 14-day fan challenge. So we have it, all sprawled out right for you. Okay. Day 9 for the fellas, day 2 for Danny. They take the mosquito net down to the river and they catch 11 minnows. John and Danny, and they make a fish stew and they eat. And the guys really appreciate Danny and what she's done, and I appreciate it too. She got right into things, right? Day 11 for the fellas, day 4 for Danny. They are trying to fix up the shelter, but the mosquitoes are brutal. Uh, night 11 for the fellas, night 4 for Danny. Danny is itching from her mosquito bites, and to make things worse, it starts to rain. Day 14 for the fellas, day 7 for Danny. Omar is in constant pain. The water isn't helping. He's sweating a lot. He's still fighting, but it's hard. It's raining. And Danny finds some worms. She goes fishing. She caught a big fish, but it flipped off the line before it could get to shore. So that was a bummer. It was a nice size fish. But she was like, listen, I'm not gonna stop right here. It's still raining outside, but she starts to crack open some of them cahoon nuts for them so they can at least have something to eat. And I really appreciate her. She said, listen, I ain't catch this fish, but it's raining. I'm gonna do what I need to do. And the guys was telling her, are you gonna come and get out the rain and sit? And she said, no, I'm out here handling something. I'm doing this. Like, period, Danny. Oh, yes. Day 16 for the guys, day 9 for Danny. She goes fishing, but she catches nothing. Day 17 for the fellas, day 10 for Danny. She catches a skink lizard that ran through their shelter while they were lying down. They cook and eat it, and of course, they say that it tastes like chicken. Literally, they always saying the stuff tastes like chicken. I haven't heard nothing else besides the cahoon nuts tasting like popcorn. But this season, everything tastes like chicken. Like, this is all they ever say. And according to, Naked and Afraid, 4 ounces of lizard meat contains 25 grams of protein. Now, hold up. I'm a correct myself, because I skipped a day. Hold up. They found, it was when Malu left. John and Omar found a turtle. I'm like, hold up, they had more protein than this. Yeah, so it was after Malu left, they went down to the water to check the trap, the river, and they found a turtle. Yes. So they found a turtle, and they cooked and ate that on day 3. But yes, now let's get back to where we are, to where we at. Okay, so now we're on day 20, y'all. Yeah, day 20. No, night 20. We on night 20. Sorry, y'all. Night 20. Omar lets John and Danny know how he appreciates them and he'll need some more support with their extraction. Day 21, extraction day for the fellas. Day 14, extraction day for Danny. They have to trek 2 miles up a steep mountain, then into the jungle, where the extraction site is 5 miles away. So 7 miles, honey. They trekking. The mosquitoes are tearing them up. Omar was literally wearing the mosquito net like a cloak. Like he is, I know he was just tired of the mosquitoes, honey. The thorns are rough on their feet, and Omar's legs are starting to cramp, but they keep moving, and they finally make it to the extraction site and are picked up by a person, with some horses and a carriage, a wagon, I'll say. Congrats to Omar and John for completing 21 days and Danny for completing 14 days, naked and afraid. Okay, so let's give PSR updates. Malu, she doesn't get a PSR update. Like I said, this is a new thing they've been doing. Like if you don't complete the challenge, they ain't updating you. Okay, so Malu didn't get an update. Omar lost 43 pounds and his PSR went from a 6.5 to a 6.7. I agree with that. John lost 16 pounds. His PSR went from a 7.4 to a 7.8. I agree with that. Danny lost 10 pounds and her PSR went from a 6.2 to a 6.7. I agree with that. Okay, now let's get into my final thoughts and then we'll get into what the fans thought of the episode. Okay, so, whew, I mean, Omar, y'all. Omar talking about his back. I actually wrote this on X, formerly known as Twitter. When we was talking about the episode, during the episode, I said he made me think of Mike Tyson. Y'all know when Mike Tyson was saying, I broke my back. My back is broken. Spinal. Like that's what it was given. Like that's exactly what it was given with Omar. No shade, but yeah, my back is broken. Spinal. Shout out to Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson. Y'all know my favorite sport is boxing, honey. So that just reminded me so much of Mike saying that. But um, yeah, I think John was a great partner through and through. Um, he was great. He was great. He was very supportive. He ain't cry, he ain't whine, he ain't itch, he ain't moan. He just did what he needed to do for himself and for his partners, and I love that. And this was another episode that made me cry. Just shed a little tears, honey. Season 18 been giving the girl the blues. um yeah, because of Malu. I hope Malu and her family are doing well. Her dad, I hope he pulled through. If he has transitioned, may he rest in peace. And I'm sending condolences, okay? Danny showed us a little something, something in just 14 days, but she showed just enough for me to want to see her back for a 21-day challenge. And if she does well with a 21-day challenge, I would love to see her on an XO challenge. I don't know. Danny rolling in with that red fiery hair, honey. And when she said she was a crocodilian biologist, I just was like, girl, you gonna make it. You gonna make it. You got this, girl. But yeah, like I said, she showed just enough for me just to be like, I want to see her back. I definitely want to see her back. Now let's get into what the fans thought of the episode. The fan comments, y'all know they hold nothing back. And leave y'all comments down below. Y'all already know I love reading y'all comments, even if we agree to disagree. Okay, voice your opinions here. This is a safe space. Every not everybody, majority of us thought Omar was gonna tap. They were saying he was whining, and they thought he was gonna tap. But I think the only reason why he didn't tap is because he had great partners. If he had a bad partner, I don't think he would have made it. He would have just said forget it and left and dipped out. Um, Malu, they were saying Malu's voice is annoying. Do I agree? Absolutely. I'm gonna keep it 100,000. Wow, I ain't gonna lie to you. Malu's voice to me is also annoying, guys. I agree with you guys. Do I think she'll be back for another challenge? Absolutely. With duct tape, absolutely. And even though I think her voice is annoying, I do think she wasn't bad this episode. She wasn't bad this episode because she wasn't saying much. She didn't even, challenge Omar about, how far they were walking away from the water. She was saying, didn't want to be too bossy. She wasn't talking that much. She was there for 3 days. So yes, her voice is annoying, but it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't unbearable, Like we could push through, you know. And I also think, in my opinion, I think because she was thinking about her dad, she wasn't saying much. She was just, going with the flow of things. So yeah, for this episode, I don't think it was that bad. Okay, give the girl a break. We gonna see duct tape girl again. Y'all know that. She like get used to the voice, cause I'm gonna be around. Okay, girl. We see you when you come back, girl, and you complete your 21 days. Okay. Leave y'all comments what y'all think about the episode down below. I'll be looking out for them, liking and talking with you guys. This was a good episode. I enjoyed this episode. The people was complaining about the episodes being too long. Honey, they gave us an hour and a half episode tonight, and we appreciate it. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay, everybody in the house is asleep. I'm ready to go take a long herbal bath and relax. Okay. It's just like it's gonna be me. I'm reading a book for my book club. I'm gonna read my book, sit in the bath. This is a good time. Okay. I think all the episodes need to be an hour to an hour and a half. If they doing stuff, an hour and a half. If they ain't doing nothing, get them out of here. An hour. Like it don't need to be long and drawn out. But yes, appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. Leave your comments. What do you guys think of the episode? You could support the podcast and the channel by sending a donation to the Let's Talk About PayPal and Venmo account. Everything will be linked below. Catch up on some more episodes here. The playlist is linked below as well. If you are interested in animal research, animal news, check out my videos here. If you're interested in celebrity pets or celebrity animal interactions, check out my shorts. Just take a browse of the channel, honey. I got, all the animal stuff here, a little something here, a little something there. And then I talk about my favorite show on TV, Naked and Afraid, every Sunday after the show, honey. So we got a new episode next week, which looked crazy. I saw the preview, honey. The shelter was burning down. So make sure y'all here next Sunday because it's crazy. And we also have another Naked and Afraid show, Last One Standing, coming, I believe, May 18th. It's either the 11th or the 18th. I know it's not the 11th, it's the 18th. Yeah, so Naked and Afraid, Discovery, they kicking the things out, okay? So make sure you guys stay tuned for some more Naked and Afraid reviews. I'll leave the timestamps for you guys just in case, okay? And I'll talk to you guys next time. Oh, I got a new saying, y'all. I got a new saying. Let me what I say? Because I changed it. Now it's a wild world out there. But keep surviving. I like that one better. The last one I said I ain't like. Yeah, it's a wild world out there. Keep surviving, y'all. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.